All right, I've been working on this, forgive my pronunciation if it's wrong, Takigen 10 pin. It is actually 11 pins. There are 6 diagonal and 5 side. Okay, nice Japanese cam style lock. I used 2 Takigen to get a nice, good tension on it. So here we go, got a good tension on it. I'm gonna do like light to moderate tension, nothing too heavy. Try to get up at the top as much as I can. Okay, and checking 1. No binding 1, 2. 2 get a click, 3. 3 a little click, 4. I'm gonna start again. All right. Okay, 1. Nope, that's 2. Good click on 2. 3, hit a click, 4, 5, 6. Go back to 1. Click on 1. Checking all of them again. Okay, good little core rotation on that after checking them all. 1, binding, a little click. 2. It feels like 4, maybe 5, going all the way back out. 1. 1's not binding. 2. 2 is binding. Good click on 2. 3. Not sure on 3. 4 and 5. Can't really feel. Trigger 1. 1's not binding. 2. 2 feels okay. 3. Little binding. Click 4. And 5. Don't feel 5. 1. Nothing. 2. Going back to 1. Here's 1. 1 is 2 is binding. 3. 4, a little bit of core rotation, go back to 1. No, 2. I lost it. 1, 2, 3, and open. All right. So the problem with this, just to talk through it a little bit, I'll slide my chair a little closer. All right, to talk through this a little bit. So one of the things is that now that I got the open, as you can see, fully open, I'm going to lock back up. So when you're in here, we'll get this angle a little bit better. You could see the pins, right? So you have, try to zoom in a little bit. So you can see the pins. Okay, so you see you have the diagonal coming in this way and horizontal. So the good part about this lock is I can actually stay all the way to the right side and not manipulate these. The hard part is when you're working on these ones to slowly glide over it. Let me zoom out a little bit on this. Okay. The hard part is to kind of slowly back up out of here and feel it. So what I do is I just kind of lightly put it on there and just kind of like feel for when it goes out and then back in. That's kind of what I do to feel for it. All right, so now let's take this apart. So one of the things I'm going to do is I have a little tool to help me with my Japanese locks. I would not suggest doing this one for a blue belt ever to show you, you know, gutting it and all that stuff. I would not choose this one. Maybe to get points, it's not worth a lot of points for someone in the dance system, but it's a lot of work to take it apart. I just fashioned this nut just to make it a little bit easier. Now you absolutely can, 100% can, take these metal parts out, right? So I find actually the easiest way, if you wanted to do it that way, let's take this off real quick. So the easiest way to do that would actually be grabbing, I'll put this right here for now, right? It would be grabbing something like this, some cam lock tool, and you can actually put it on the opposite and like jam it into this edge and push it out, and you can actually pull those out. Now, I don't want to damage them. It's really pretty to keep them the way they are, so I made a tool for it, right? And in my haste, so let's put this where you can still see the lock. In my haste, I move stuff out of the way. So that was my picking it. If you want to see me gut it, I'm going to fully gut it and fully reassemble it, and I'll put those time blocks in the time for people who want to do it. So what I forgot, so I'm keeping that core and frame, is what I'll do is I will bring this completely level, like so. I'll bring this down. Okay, I'm going to get this kind of level, keep that core and frame, so that way you can see it. Okay. And then trying to get that corner frame, let's just bring this in. Okay, I'm gonna put the key completely straight. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit, make it a little more straight. Okay, completely straight. And then I'm going to, God, that is just, my hands keep bringing that out of frame. All right, I'm gonna put this key pretty much vertical on here. I'm gonna put this key as vertical as I can. Okay, and now I can take this core, bring it over here, get that centered. And what I'll do is I'll put this right here, okay? So there it is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this out, right? So now I have something holding it. You can just take a simple pick. Again, this is a long process, I'm not bore you, but if you look through here, there's actually a hole. So if I had it here, this little ring, right? You can't get into it, but if you kind of bring it around, eventually fall into a hole. That is the spot that I grab it and I kind of get the pick up underneath there and get it above. Once you get that above, like so, hopefully that'll stay in focus. I'll try to get it zoomed in and grab it on focus. But you can basically grab this edge right here, put your finger here so the spring doesn't go flying, and you can kind of just wrap your finger around it, and now it's out. So there it is. So now you have this out. So I'll take this up and out. I'll just put this here. Okay, so now I have two things for it. I have this guy that I printed. It's on Maker World and Thingiverse, but this is to get it out. This is to get the pins out. So first, let's transfer it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, right? I'm going to transfer it up. Let's get this so I don't lose it. And basically this is going to go straight up. And now that core is safely out. So now what we could do is we could look directly at the pins. So what I'll do is I'll turn this kind of sideways. What I'll do is I will grab this like so. You can see the core right there. It's out of frame and I apologize for that. I mean, it's unfocused. I want to take this guy out, right? So what you can do is you can easily see now that there's my 5 pins and there's the 6 pins. So there's no specialty pins to this. You don't have to worry about, you know, technically someone messing with those. But what I'll do is I'll put these right here for now. I'll mess with you in a second. And I'm going to take this core. I'm going to keep it in frame, put it right here for now. Okay, so you can see this guy kind of went out a little bit. But again, I'm not trying for the blue belt. So this is just kind of an explanation of how to take it apart and put it back together. So you could do better by keeping it all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all of these. So let's put this up here for now. And let's go through this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this pin out. I'm going to pull the key out. And now you can easily get access to the pin. So let's just start. So what I'm going to do is the 6 are the diagonal ones, right? So let's work through the 6. So the keyway goes this direction. I'll take them out in that direction, right? So I'm holding my finger behind here and we'll just slowly bring these guys out. So here is 1. There's 1. We'll drop them out. We'll put you here. Give me, yeah, we can. So we can drop out like that too. 2. These guys sometimes just stick, and that's okay. There's the second pin, the third pin. This next pin. This next pin. And this next pin fell in pretty decently, right? And now we'll take the next 5 and take them out through here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this is where I'm going to put the springs in this one. So I'm going to go to the next one. And again, goes in key order that we don't forget it later. This first one. Actually do it through the top here. Second one. Third one, that went right here. Fourth one. And that fell in the wrong one. So now the key is out. Everything for the key pins. All right, so those are your first ones, right? So now those are out. So now we could do the more difficult part. So now we're going to transfer from one to the other. So I want to be able to take them out. So I will transfer this to this. So we'll put this device right on top here. And we will slide it down. Okay, so now I can pull these pins out. So now let's figure out what goes where, right? So it makes a V. And so you can't go wrong by putting it up here. So the 6 would be here. Here's our V. All right, so now I know that the 6 are this one right here. So I'm going to turn my tool in this direction. And now just like a regular guide, I can take them out. So what I can do is, I can actually, where's my tweezers? Okay, so now I can actually pull these out. So here comes the first one. So there's pin 1. See it? All right, so now what I'll do is I'll put it right in that first bucket right here. So you have that and the spring. And these springs are steel, thank God. So they are magnetic, you pick them up, but they like to fly, so be careful. So let's get the next one. Okay, there's the next one. Okay, that one just dropped out. Okay, and then I'll go for the 4th one before. Well, that was 3. So what I can do is I can push that back up, go to the other direction, just like any old follower. Okay. All right, so that one's the back one. And again, the good part about this is none of these have like edges to them, so you don't have to prove that they're put in the right way. But I will tell you, there's no way you'll be able to get the spring. Be careful picking them up in the direction of the spring. Like do it horizontally, because if you pick them up not this way, even though they fall out, they can go flying. Be careful. All right, so let's get this last one. There's the last one. Right, so there's 6, right? So now I'm going to bring it to the one that we haven't done yet. So let's bring it around here. Let's get these out, and this should be 5. Okay, that's the first one. Very dangerous picking them up that way. Do try your best not to pick them up where you're compressing the spring. Okay, you got the next one. See, if I do it this way, I'm risking it flying across the world. So even though it's difficult, trust me when I tell you. See, that one of flying, just pressing it too hard. Be very careful. Again, if you lose these on the ground, my suggesting if it's hardwood is sweep the dust into a pile and then put a magnet on it, and you'll find it. That's what I did before. That's my suggestion. If it's a carpet, shouldn't go far. And you just use a magnet on it. That's my best advice. So now I'm going to push this back up. Get the back side. And there's only 2 left. Okay. was the 5th one. And now all we have left is the 4th one. Dangerous. Whew, did it without it going flying. And finally the last one. Okay, so now that should be all of them. Woo! Okay, so this is all of them. I will give you a piece of advice. If you decide to progressively pick this, okay, do not make the same mistake I did. And I used this tool and loaded some of the time. Keep in mind, this was the mistake I did. While I was putting this back in, obviously, where's the two sides? So it's here and here. So when I was putting it in, I was stupid and literally left it in line. So what happened is I only had 3 and 3, 3 and 3. So when I started sliding this down, the 3 springs here, when I started doing it kind of at an angle, when I brought it like this, these springs sprung into these holes and locked it up. And I used a tool to get in there, which I thought really wasn't possible, but I used a tool to get in there and pry it open and slowly get it out, and somehow I did not damage this, thank goodness. So be careful if you are going to progressively pick it. Be very careful that you keep these not lined up with the holes. So I mean, it's pretty obvious for those who have done this, but just giving you that warning. It happened to me, and I have some experience, obviously, taking apart clocks. Anyway, so this is what it looks like. Like, give you a little zoom in. Tiny springs. So this was my diagonal roll of 6, and here's all of the tiny springs that go inside of it. And then I had my 5 horizontal with the 5 springs and 5 driver pins. Okay, so that is a lock. It's already at 16 minutes. It will be a very long video if I put it back together, but it's the same in reverse. I have this on my same name under Maker's Rule, the Thingiverse, and this just makes it where you can target, just doing one row at a time instead of doing multiple rows at a time, which is still doable. And it does work on a whole bunch of other, locks that we'll be doing in the future, but they will work on other Japanese cam locks. They are the exact same size. So that's good news. All right, so that's what I got.